Let's be honest, does the term personal branding just make you cringe a little bit? Yeah, it brings up these images of, nonstop networking, constant self-promotion. And if you're an introvert, that sounds less like an opportunity and more like a one-way ticket to complete and utter burnout. But what if that whole idea that the loudest person in the room wins is just wrong?
I mean, if the very thought of having to manage a social media presence 24/7 makes you want to just grab a book and hide, you are definitely not alone. All the conventional wisdom tells us that you have to be this huge, room filling personality to make it. But today, we're going to explore a completely different path, one that doesn't just work with your nature, it actually uses it as a superpower.
Okay, first things first. Let's just bust some major myths right out of the gate. Introversion is not shyness. It's not being antisocial. And it is absolutely 100% not a flaw that you need to fix. The reality? It's much simpler. It all comes down to energy management. It's about how you recharge your batteries. And as we're about to see, it's actually a huge cognitive strength. So, how do you even know where you land on the spectrum? Well, author and branding expert Goldie Chawn has this brilliantly simple way to think about it. You can forget all those complex personality quizzes. All you really need is one simple idea: the battery test.
This is the question. It's that simple. When you're in a social situation, does it feel like an app that's just draining your phone's battery down to zero? If so, you're probably an introvert. If it feels like you're plugging into a charger and getting a boost, you're likely an extrovert. See, it has nothing to do with how good you are at talking to people. It's all about what recharges you versus what drains you.
And this brings us to a really crucial point. Introversion is not something you need to overcome. Goldie Chawn tells this story about someone who proudly said they'd trained introversion out of themselves, and her reaction? Just polite disbelief. Because that idea completely misses the point. Why would you try to fix something that isn't broken in the first place? In fact, being an introvert comes with some serious cognitive advantages. We're talking about the ability to do deep, analytical thinking, to actually process information thoroughly before you react. In a world that's basically drowning in instant hot takes, the ability to step back, see the bigger picture, and spot the hidden patterns that everyone else misses, that's not just rare, it's a massive, massive advantage.
Okay, so you've embraced your inner introvert. Awesome. Now what? Well, here's the classic branding challenge. You have to be known for something specific. But what if you're a super curious person? You've got tons of interests. How do you stay focused enough for people to get you without becoming, boring?
Well, the answer is in this fantastic mental model Chan calls the hub and wagon wheel. It's such a simple but really powerful way to structure your brand so you can be both focused and multifaceted, all without confusing everybody. Let's break down exactly how it works. So let's start right in the center, the hub. This is your core identity. It's the one single clear thing you want to be known for. Think about it. In this crazy world of information overload, most people are only going to remember one thing about you anyway, so you have to make that one thing really, really count. All right, now for the spokes. These are all your other curiosities, your passions, the things you love to explore. But, and this is the most important part, they all have to connect back to and support your central hub. They're not just random hobbies, they're explorations that add depth and color to your main area of expertise. Let's use a really clear example to make this stick. Say your hub is being a horse trainer. Your spokes aren't going to be about, cryptocurrency, right? No, they'll be about related topics like exploring different horse breeds or new training methods or equine health. See how that adds all this rich detail, but it still reinforces your core identity as the horse person. Now, for a lot of introverts, the deep thinking part, the part where you actually create great, thoughtful content, that comes pretty naturally. The real struggle is dealing with the constant, 24/7, always-on nature of the digital world. The pressure to be constantly engaged. It's an energy management problem, plain and simple. So, how do you protect that precious battery of yours? You do it with firm digital boundaries. I mean, really firm. This means you block out specific, limited times to be online, maybe an hour for messages, and then you're done. You step away. This is how you avoid falling into what Chan so perfectly calls the email pit of despair. We've all been there. But let's be real. Even with the best boundaries, overwhelm is gonna happen sometimes. The solution isn't to just hold out for your next week-long vacation.
The secret is to build small but really powerful reset rituals right into your day. And here's a super simple one you can try literally today. Just go outside for 10 minutes, and for at least 2 of those minutes, put your phone away. Like, actually put it in your pocket. Don't try to focus on anything specific. Just look at the sky or the ground or the people walking by. It sounds almost too simple, but this little act of disconnection is a powerful way for an introverted brain to rewire and recharge. Okay, here's one more powerful little brain hack for you, especially if you have to do something stressful like give a speech. Practice what you're going to say, but do it out loud. When your own brain hears the words in your own voice, the material becomes familiar, and that familiarity drastically cuts down on the anxiety you feel in the moment. It's a simple trick, but it makes a huge difference.
So when you put this all together, what does it really mean? It points to a completely new way of thinking about personal branding. It's a philosophy where your authenticity matters way more than your volume, and where your depth will always, always trump breadth. So please don't ever believe that you have to be an extrovert to succeed in this digital world. If anything, it's the opposite. The internet has created more paths than ever for thoughtful, quiet, substantive voices to find their people and make a real impact. Your nature isn't a liability, it's your single greatest asset. So the only question that's really left is the one you have to answer for yourself. Now that you know your introverted nature is a strength, how are you going to build a personal brand that isn't just successful, but one that's authentic and genuinely energizing for you?